While you may want to build up every character in your roster, with the limited resources available, you'll need to make some tough decisions on who to build and, more importantly, who not to build. So in this video, we're counting down the top trap characters in Marvel Strike Force, the characters that are still very good but will ultimately be a waste of your resources. So if you're ready to count down the top trap characters in Marvel Strike Force with me, you know what to do. Find that like button and let's go smash it!
ValleyFlyin.
Hello, Valley Maniacs. What is up? Hopefully you're having a great day. I am ValleyFlyin. Welcome to the ValleyFlyin channel. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content. We have at least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on this channel. And if you've already subscribed, welcome back. We have a good one for you today. In this video, we're talking about the top trap characters in Marvel Strike Force. We're bringing on the top 10 trap characters and teams, and we got a lot of honorable mentions. You're gonna wanna stick around to the end for that one because some of these picks may be pretty controversial, but what are trap characters? Basically, these are characters that are gonna cost a lot of resources in gold, training mats, your gear, other things, and they may not give you back that return on your investment. So all these characters are very good and were very good at one time, and if you're a newer mid-game player, they still may be very valuable to your roster and the content that you're trying to complete. But as you approach the end game and getting some other characters, these characters will become a little less valuable and ultimately may just be benched on your roster. So these are trap characters. Depending where you are in the game, you may not want to invest in any of these characters, but for some of these, you may need them just for a temporary solution if you're a newer or mid-game player. But let's get into it. Let's get into this list. First character on this list, and these top 10 are in no particular order. But yeah, you're gonna wanna stick around for these honorable mentions as well. But first character on this list is Black Bolt. Now this list primarily is made up of non-Scourge, non-Horsemen, and characters that are not viable in the Doom 3 raids. This is one of the exceptions though, because his Scourge value is pretty much 0. This is one of the characters that I brought up for Dark Dimension 5. Big mistake because he didn't really do too much in Dark Dimension 5. I'm not really using him outside of that. Black Bolt was one of the best characters in the game, and even at endgame, this passive is still gonna give you a lot of value. Characters killed by Black Bolt cannot be revived. That is still important in some of the War and Crucible game modes. And when an enemy drops below 25% health, Black Bolt is gonna attack that enemy. His burp is still a major factor, but not really using him in Arena. I don't see him in Arena. He's not used in, other than that Scourge for Rogue, which pretty much the Young Avengers carry that thing. He's not there, and he's not used in the raids as well. So pretty much just relegated to War and Cosmic Crucible, and yes, kind of a harder character to work for with very little value nowadays. The Inhumans just dropped off so far in value. Let's talk about another character. It's a very, very good character. Unfortunately, this character does not have a team, but if you're facing him on defense, the AI Silver Surfer can be very, very annoying. Very, very good kit. One of the best standalone characters in the game, one of the best plug and play characters in the game. But like I said, not really having a home. Not seeing him in Arena, not seeing him in the raids, and he's not on any Scourge or Horseman team. So the value for Silver Surfer is dropping, and he's not really on any meta War offense or War defense teams or Cosmic Crucible offense or Cosmic Crucible defense team. You're still gonna get some value from Silver Surfer, but the amount of resources you have to build them up and the amount of value that you're gonna get in those limited game modes, I don't think are worth it nowadays. So Silver Surfer is still a trap character for me. Good character, and maybe get revitalized with some reworks to some other characters, or if he finds a home, then I would start to build him. But at this point, Silver Surfer is still a big trap character in my opinion. Next, Mr. Sinister. This is so disappointing because I think all of the content creators thought that this would be the most future-proof character because of his clone mechanic. His cloning, he can clone any character. The thing about it is, as soon as Kestrel's passive got released, that she's gonna kill any summons, any clones while she has charge, Sinister's value went way low because of his low speed. The Marauders are still okay on war defense, but they're countered by a lot of different teams there. Mr. Sinister, not really worth building at this point, in my opinion. Not seeing him in arena, not seeing him in the raids, as far as using him in the raids, and so pretty much a war defense character. Not really seeing him in Cosmic Crucible either, so very low value at this point for Mr. Sinister, but at one point was one of the most future-proof characters in Marvel Strike Force, but Kestrel said so long to that, so you can kind of save your resources for Mr. Sinister at this point because, yeah, other than war defense, you're not really using him too much. Same thing with Doc Ock. Was a very good war character at one point with a Sinister 6. Then he became a tech solution in the raids, and then now that we have even before the Bionic Avengers, he started falling off the teams. I think Lady Deathstrike pushed him out of that tech raid solution, but yeah, now with the Bionic Avengers, there's really no value for Dr. Octopus. Not in arena, not in the raids, not really seeing a lot of value in war either. Maybe on some hybrid teams, but that Sinister 6 has pretty much fallen off the face of the earth. Same thing in Crucible as well. Sometimes you're seeing him on some hybrid teams, probably more as leftover, but right now there's no real value for Dr. Octopus, which is unfortunate because he is a legendary character, but yeah, you don't really need to build Dr. Octopus at this point. Let's go with another legendary character, and that is Ebony Maw, part of the Black Order, which at one point was the best team in the game, and he's that character that brought that whole team together. Well, Black Order is not countering what it used to. It is a 3-year-old team at this point, and they are not in the meta. You're not seeing them in arena. You're not seeing them in the raids. They're not very good in war. They're not very good in Crucible. I think at this point, the Black Order is a very solid sacrifice team, or you could use them to counter some of these non-meta teams in some of those game modes. But Ebony Maw is the linchpin to that team, and because the Black Order has fallen off so much, the most plug-and-play character on that team has also fallen off in Ebony Maw. Now, he still does some good things. That resistance, the countering to Phoenix is still very good. Stealing health and speed bar from the enemies is still a very, very good move, but that long cooldown on that ultimate just doesn't make it useful in a lot of game modes. So you can save your resources. At this point, putting resources in the Ebony Maw will not give you that value, that return on your investment. So this is a skippable character. And that brings us to Ghost, who was a very, very valuable member, at least for me, of that tech solution in the raids, at least all the way up into Doom 2.3. Then we got some other characters like Kate Bishop that I prefer to use over Ghost. So her value has significantly been reduced. Ghost was one of the best plug-and-play characters, was very good on whatever war defense character you could put her on, whatever war defense team you would put her on back in the day, but not very valuable at this point. Still very annoying when you see an enemy Ghost and they do that ultimate and just take all of your health, and it gives her the health back when she's on the verge of death. But as far as putting the resources into Ghost right now, you still can unlock Jubilee with the Pimtech team, and Jubilee is still kind of the default mutant team for Doom 3. But Ghost value is very, very low right now. So other than putting those gold stars in Ghost to unlock Jubilee, you're not getting a lot of value out of Ghost or the rest of the Pimtech, to be honest. So, and they're not even winning that much in Blitz, so Ghost is used nowhere. She is totally skippable at this point. Same goes for Minn-Erva, who at one point was the best healer, another tech character that just their value went down so much. She was built up from a lot of people for that tech solution in Doom 2.1, 2.2. As we started to approach Doom 2.3, though, her value went down and it is not recovered yet. She can still bring characters back to life, so she'll still be valuable in some game modes. She's a very powerful heal, and if you do manage to unlock her, she'll be a very good character in some of these early Dark Dimensions. I'm talking Dark Dimension 1, 2, and probably all the way up to 3. She'll be very good, but after that, not used. She has not been used in Arena for a long time, not used in the raids for a long time, not really good on war, not really good on Crucible either. So Minn-Erva, best healer at one point in the game and very low value right now for her. Cloak and Dagger. Now, they still have a lot of value if you aren't towards that end game, but as you start to approach that end game, you're not really using them in a lot of places. So I would say up to Doom 3.2, these guys are still very good. And if you don't have Morgan Le Fay and you don't have Dormammu, these guys are still the default Mystic Doom Mystic raid team here. So they're still gonna have a lot of value, but later on they're gonna lose value. So keep that in mind if you're building up these characters. The new warriors are still very good, but Dormammu, Morgan Le Fay works better in a full new warriors team. Not really used in arena, and in the higher levels of the raids, not really using them. In the lower levels, you still are though. So don't totally skip on these characters. Just know that any investment that you make into these characters will be surpassed by other characters that you're gonna unlock down the road. Now, at this point, I'm not even recommending them for Dark Dimension 5. At one point, they were very good city characters, but when you look at what resources that you need to build them up, all that mystic gear, there's other teams that are probably a little better uses of that gear, like the Darkhold or the Eternals are the things. The Cloak and Dagger just not doing what they used to be. They're still going to give you some value in war, probably more on defense than offense. Same thing with Crucible. In that Mystic room, in that Mystic City room, they're gonna give you some value there. But outside of that, Cloak and Dagger has significantly fallen off. So at the end game, you're gonna use them in Crucible, but that is about it. And maybe War on defense. So keep in mind, if you do make investments of it, which you may have to, depending on where you are in the game, they're gonna be replaced down the road. Next is this Shadowland team. This was a very good war team at one point, war offense team. The sad thing is they never really made it into that arena meta, really never made it into the raid meta, and they're not even that great in war anymore. They're not taking out as many teams with all these new meta teams that we have. These guys aren't working as good, and they're not finding their way into Crucible. And they're not even winning in Blitz anymore. So all of these characters here, we're talking all of them, Moon Knight, Daredevil, Elektra, White Tiger, Night Nurse, unless they get a rework, unless something happens to this Shadowland team, there's no real reason to invest in them. And let's move on to the last team, and that is a sad, sad sight, the Bio team, the Symbiotes. The Bio solution for so long in the raids, just, I mean, these guys came out when Ultimus was a thing, so they were just a raid solution. Then we got Doom, and then we had this bio teams for Doom, and they were so good. And they not even doing a lot in the war anymore. They used to counter some of these teams like that had Gregs or someone that had a bunch of deaths on the team. They're not even doing that anymore because of the all right, and we got the Symbiotes. This one makes me sad because for so long, this was the bio raid team. Let's be honest, this was the raid team back in the day because this team was launched all the way back when Ultimus was a thing and we didn't have these origin restrictions in these raids here. But yeah, the Symbiotes, not really used in arena ever. There were maybe elements of Symbiote Spider-Man could be used on hybrid teams in arena, but not really used in arena. These guys were used for so long in the bio section of Doom raids, but now that we get the Web Warriors, and now that the Web Warriors are pretty much farmable, there's no reason to go back and build the Symbiotes there. Not really used on defense in war, not really used on offense in war, because there's other teams that you're gonna use. They still have that turn meter rewind, so if you see some easy counters, you could probably still use the Symbiotes. But yeah, placing them on defense and Crucible in war, that's just the easy win for your opponents. So they have lost a lot of value. Now, we're gonna move on some honorable mentions here, and some of these may be a little more controversial. Some of these are still very good characters that have a lot of value, but if you're low on resources, haven't already built up these characters, you may wanna put your resources elsewhere at this time because they're not used as much as they were. Let's talk about the first character, Shuri. Now, she does still have some value in Chaos Theory, and the Wakandans are pretty good on Cosmic Crucible. Unfortunately, the Wakandans and Cosmic Crucible very easily countered by the Young Avengers. Now, there's some hybrid Wakandan teams that are very tough to beat, but pure Wakanda is very easily countered by the Young Avengers, and no value in the raids anymore because of the Bionic Avengers. She was one of the default better tech raid tunes, but with the Bionic Avengers in the game now, the Shuri has lost a lot of value. She still has some value, which is why she's an honorable mention, but definitely not what she used to be. All right, next is Adam Warlock. Now, Adam Warlock is a part of the Infinity Watch, and if you don't have the Infinity Watch built up, you may want to hold off at least on building them right now. If you have the Infinity Watch built from the past, he's still going to give you value. I don't know if I would go back and put resources into Adam Warlock right now, considering all the Horseman teams and Scourge teams and Raids teams that we're gonna need. Adam Warlock doesn't really fit that bill, although Infinity Watch is still very good. It's a still very good team. They are strong on offense or defense in War, and strong on offense or defense in Crucible. Probably better on offense to counter some of these things, but Adam Warlock just not worth the investment, considering that you need a lot of characters to even unlock Adam Warlock. You need your X Factor, and you need Jubilee. So you need to go back and build Pimtech just to unlock Adam Warlock. At this point, he's not worth the investment, but if you already have Adam Warlock built up, you're still gonna see a lot of value from the Infinity Watch. Let's move on to Lady Deathstrike, because she does still have value, still part of that Weapon X team, which is very, very valuable, but you're not gonna be using her in the tech section of the raids anymore with the Bionic Avengers out now. That's where she had a lot of value before, and she's still a very good character, but she just lost her tech value. So you may wanna consider not really building her as much as you would in the past. She's still good though, but yeah, she's losing value. And Weapon X, they may be replaced as the best war team when the Gamma team comes out. So yeah, she's falling in value a little bit. All right, next is Star-Lord T'Challa. And yes, he is a Scourge character, so he may give you value there, which is why he's not in the main list. He's an honorable mention because he still does have some value. The Ravagers are okay in War, on War offense. They are not very good on War in Crucible. You know, I've seen some people use Star-Lord T'Challa as kind of a default character, but he's very, very squishy. And he is another tech character that lost a lot of value with the introduction of the Bionic Avengers. So you may want to still put a little bit of resources into him, but he may be a trap character for this upcoming War Scourge event. He may be someone like Black Bolt that dies very, very quickly and does not give you a lot of value. He may have value from his special, but he may be a trap character as well. So I would temper my expectations for Star-Lord T'Challa right now, but he does have some value, which is why he's honorable mention. Just be careful. Any resources you put into him, and you may not see that return on your investment in these resources. And last but not least is Dr. Doom. Very, very good character, but lost a lot of value with the Bionic Avengers. Not an arena character anymore. I don't see him at all in arena. In a raids, you're not really using him in tech section because of the Bionic Avengers. So at this point, Dr. Doom is pretty much just a War and Crucible character. He's gonna still have a lot of value in War. He's still gonna have a lot of value in Crucible. Still a very annoying character. But as far as all the resources you have to build him up, because he is a very he's a very expensive character with all the resources that you have to put into him, he may not give you that return on investment. Now, if you have him already built up, he's still gonna give you a lot of value. I'm just thinking, if you just got Doom, you may not want to put everything into Doom like you did back in the past when Dark Dimension 4 was a thing. So still good, but just not gonna give you, not used in a lot of game modes as he was. And yeah, there's better characters in the game right now. That is it. That is a top trap characters in the game. Is there anyone that I forgot? Are there any trap characters that you think are not worth the investment? I tried to eliminate those main Horseman teams, the Doom 3 viable raid characters, and I tried to eliminate those main Scourge characters. I know there's a couple in there, and T'Challa and Black Bolt, but the rest of the Scourge characters, they're still pretty valuable there. So that is it. Let me know what you think of this list. Any other characters that need to be on the honorable mentions, any other characters that need to be on this list, or are there any characters that you think should be off of this list because they are valuable? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, and I will see you guys next time. We got more videos coming out this week. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, share this with your friends. Hit that like button so YouTube shares this with more people, and hit that subscribe button for more ValleyFlyin content, more Marvel Strike Force content. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin out.